Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. It is episode 51 and today I have got some exciting news to start things off in today's Hermitcraft episode. As you guys know, us YouTubers, we're always talking about secret projects and secret things that we've been working on. It tends to be like a running theme throughout a lot of people's videos. I've got a bit of a confession to make. For the past 50 episodes, I've been working on my own kind of secret project. Basically, I thought to myself that at the end of Hermitcraft Season 4, we had built a lot of farms over that time period. Okay, towards the end of Hermitcraft Season 4, it was basically farm. And I thought when I started this Hermitcraft season, I didn't want to just build all the same farms again because that would be very boring and very repetitive. So I decided that at the start of Hermitcraft Season 5, I would try and dedicate about the first 50 or so episodes on just doing everything but building farms. Now, I know this was a bit of a drastic move, okay, because I love building farms. Building farms is always very entertaining on videos, but I thought I'd try it, and I thought I'd do something different. And to be honest with you, up until about episode 45, it worked really, really well. But then the previous 5 episodes, yeah, I will admit, they were getting a little bit repetitive. I mean, I came up with the idea of actually creating the farming modules. That was like completely off the top of my head. Didn't really think about the fact that there are 16 of these diamonds right here, and then all of the glass, and then all of the ocean clearing and everything like that is massively time consuming. Hugely time consuming projects and also hugely repetitive. So I do apologize for that. I do understand that some of you are bored of that, and totally understandable. I would probably be bored as well, but it's something that I really needed to do and really needed to get finished so that I can actually start work on the farms that are going to be starting today. This is the day that they begin. We're going to start filling up these modules right here, and blimey O'Reilly, do I have some serious plans. I mean, seriously serious plans. This is going to be exciting. Really, really exciting. And before anyone goes down in the comment section saying, oh, but what about the Guardian farm? That's a farm, you totally break your own rule. Yeah, that's the central point of my base. I kind of had to build it, otherwise this would all be totally and utterly pointless. Also, I do agree, these do look like coffee tables. I might have to change them at some point. I have got some ideas, but farms. Good heavens, this is a very old Redstone tutorial right here, but also one of my most popular ones, and if you do remember this, I give you a massive thumbs up, because that means you've been here for a long time. But this is my ultimate sugarcane farm that I built a very long time ago now, and as you can see, it is perfect in shape and size to go inside the farming modules. But instead of building it like this, we're going to be building 4 of them, and they're going to go in all 4 corners. Sounds pretty good to me. So this is the mapped out plan for these 3 right here, and I've also extended out the edges. So these go across by 10 blocks as opposed to 7 blocks, and we have 2 blocks in the center right there because, of course, we have got a 2-block area going through the center of our base. Good. Okay, that's a very good start. Now we need to start placing in all of the pistons and all of the redstone and start actually constructing the towers. This is actually going to start happening. All of the pistons are in, all of the dirt is in, and all of these slabs are in place for the bottom layer. Now what I need to do is actually start work on the redstone line. So this is where our redstone is going to be going. I just need to make sure that I'm doing this correctly because it's got a very specific slab layout for this thing. And that's because I'm trying my best to use the minimal number of slabs I possibly can, just because I think that will look cool. So we've got water in between all of these, we've got all of these slabs right here, and these pistons are going to be powered by the redstone torches, which are going to be going on the sides of all of these blocks right here. So that's kind of how each one of these modules works. Now, as far as height is concerned, don't really know how high I'm going to go. In theory, I would like to go to the height of the top of the platform right there. I just hope that that's enough because, you know, we want this to be a super efficient sugarcane farm with the 4 modules. Yeah, I think that's going to be enough actually, taking a look. Only thing is, I don't think I like the full half slab design. I think this central section here with the redstone on it should be made out of something slightly different, potentially dark prismarine. Yeah, I think that will look really cool if we do it like that. Thankfully, as we actually go up and start adding more modules, things begin to get easier. Not only do I not have to refer to the old design quite as much, I've got the world download open on my other window, and I haven't looked at it for a little while, but also, more importantly, you kind of place them on top of one another. So the water for this layer actually goes on the pistons for the layer down beneath. Now this is the redstone line, which is going to connect up all of these pistons right here. And this is pretty important because, of course, this controls the extending of those pistons, which, of course, is going to be breaking all of our sugarcane. So if I just finish this thing up, we can pop down and actually take a look at what this thing is going to be looking like. Okay, not too bad from this angle. I'm more interested about the back. And I have to say, it does look quite cool, doesn't it? There's lots going on. Nice. Not too bad. With the third layer completed, I'm starting to wonder just how many layers we're actually going to be able to fit in here. I would say probably maybe 6 or 7. Maybe 8 at a push. It's quite difficult to tell. I suppose we haven't really gone up that high so far. We are running low on all resources right now, apart from apparently iron. Look at that. The baby iron farm has been absolutely smashing it over the past few days. Seriously, who needs one of those iron titans that Tango's got in his base? Just build a tiny one of these and then leave it for, what, 4 months now? Yeah, I suppose that's probably not that impressive, actually. This thing now has 7 modules. So we have got 7 layers going right the way up to this level right here. And I'm wondering, do I want an 8th? Hang on, if we place in the blocks for the 8th one here, so we'll have a dirt block there, and then we'll have a block up like this. And then the piston would go on that layer. That kind of would be the perfect height. I don't know if I want it to be completely level, though. I mean, we already said these look like coffee tables. I want to have things extending out of them. I don't want to have like a perfectly flat layer of farms up here. So maybe it might be an idea to kind of leave them at this level, just for the time being. But this, these are big projects, man. This right here has taken me around about 3.5 hours, and part of that is due to the fact that, of course, I haven't built them in a very long time, but also they do use a lot of resources, and it's just a lot of very slow placing. So you kind of go along, and you have to gradually place in all of the slabs, like this, and then bounce it off that, and then bounce it off that, and kind of go along a little bit like that. And it's just... it is a bit of a slow process, and I have poured water through the entire thing a number of times, which has been a little bit painful as well. But anyway, if we pop down to the bottom, we should see quite a cool looking thing. The only thing is that I forgot to place in the sea lanterns. I've had sea lanterns in my inventory this entire time, but I haven't placed them going up. And I can promise you this will look a lot better once we actually get all of the sugarcane in place. Very nice. Very, very nice. This is a good start. A very good start to the farming modules. Just imagine with all the hoppers, and then the hoppers transporting the items, and then the redstone. It's going to end up looking pretty mega. Oh! I've just realised I haven't told you guys something. You know all the walkways that I have going through my base? Not actually walkways. Little secret. They were designed specifically for redstone. So I've got enough space for 1 redstone line to go one way and 1 redstone line to go the other way. And that means that all of these farming modules are going to be fully interconnected using redstone lines that run throughout the inside of my base. I realised that I had to have some way to connect it, so that's why I built them. The secrets are coming out in today's episode. Questions are being answered. Before I can start work on the next modules, I have completely run out of redstone, so I've popped over to Tango's place, and he has got a lot of the stuff. The witch farm is clearly working wonders. Also, this place, as always, just looks completely ridiculous. Next up, dirt. Amazingly, we've run out of that as well. Now, hopefully, this should do us for the full module, because while I was building that one, I had to do quite a lot of resource gathering. This, I imagine, maybe might need a few more pistons, but I imagine this should do the trick. We should be able to fly through this thing and get the second of our 4 modules all fully constructed relatively quickly. At least decently fast. So we're about halfway done on this module right here. We're just placing in all of the redstone torches, which actually connect up all of the pistons. And there's actually 2 things that I really want to try out. I'm not going to try the first one just yet, but what I want to see is, what does this thing look like? I kind of want to know if this actual area is going to end up looking good once we get these things in. Oh man, I think it will. I think it will. Once we get all of these pistons laid out, that is going to look like one monstrous area of the base. And monstrous is in good. It almost looks like server racks. Storing sugarcane. Okay, next thing I want to try. Actually activating them. I know this sounds ridiculous, but I am yet to actually turn this thing on. So if I place down those redstone torches... Good. Okay, all of the pistons are extended. That one works, that's all good. I imagine this one works just fine as well. I just wanted to make sure, because if I'm building these things and the pistons and the redstone doesn't actually work, then, well, I'm a total moron. Oh, no! I really sincerely hope that didn't do too much damage. I mean, it literally just started raining, and then water poured down, and even stranger... Okay, yeah. That's why I literally placed the water on top of that dirt block as if it wasn't there, and then it poured down the entire mechanism. Hopefully it only broke that redstone. Sadly though, I am fresh out of time for this evening. It is getting rather late in the studio right now, but with 2/3 of the farms currently done, I think it's about time that we try our best to gather up some fishy resources. Thankfully this is all empty. What I have to do is take off all of my expensive gear, and I will catch you all in the morning. Well, that AFK session was a total failure. I came back into the server to see that unfortunately I had been kicked, didn't really know when, and I didn't seem to have too many AFK fishing drops, but I think that's because the AFK fish farm isn't really working at the minute. I keep casting my rod just endlessly, as in it's just going, and it's never actually staying in the water, so I think I might have to redo my design a little bit. It was a little bit of a bodge job as is, so I think it probably needs a little bit of work. But anyway, these are the two modules. They are standing very proud, looking pretty cool. Now, they don't look as cool from inside here. I have to say that, I mean, it's mostly dirt. But if we pop outside and we actually fly out the back, you can see that now you might start to understand where I was going with these kind of sections right here. I wanted to kind of cover up the farms, but also have them visible and peeking through. And yeah, I think it looks really good. The only thing that I am wondering is that at the minute we're only building 3, because of course we've got the super smelter. I'm almost tempted to remove the super smelter and build another one, so that we have 4 in all 4 corners, and then in the center right here, we're going to have yet more farms. Oh, that might make more sense. We'll work on that in the future. For the time being, we still have one more of these modules to do. And, you know, I think, first off, I need to get a whole bunch of resources. I didn't think I'd be saying this for a while, but I've completely run out of cobblestone. Thankfully, the Y'all Each Share Hermits area, I think that's what this thing is called, seems to have absolutely tons of the stuff. I imagine it's probably from the community mining project, which I've heard is doing really, really well. Might take a look at that at the end of today's episode. All of the dark prismarine is there. We have got all of the pistons we should need. We've got all the stone slabs. Got a whole bunch of redstone, some repeaters. We've got redstone torches. We have got sea lanterns. Dirt. Yeah, I think we're ready to do this. Now, because I've done the previous 2 in the form of progress updates, I thought that this last one we could do in the form of a third-person time-lapse, just so you can see the whole process of this thing being built. So in today's time-lapse chat, I want to talk to you about memory, because recently I listened to the audiobook Moonwalking with Einstein by Joshua Foer, and it's about a journalist who went to one of the memory championships where people remember entire decks of cards in a really short space of time, and they list off loads of different numbers that they've memorized in a certain time limit and everything like that. He went to one of those, and he discovered that these people that do these events don't have ridiculous memories at birth. They're not born with insane photographic memories. Instead, they learn specific techniques and they just train a lot and get their memory to be really, really good. And he was interested in this, and he trained for a full year, and he ended up entering the competition the year later. I'm not going to spoil it because it's an incredibly good book, and I would highly suggest reading it because it's extremely interesting. And I thought to myself while I was reading this all sounds pretty cool. Okay, so I took some of the techniques that he mentioned in the book, and I try them out myself. For like the first time the other day, I looked at a list of 50 random words, and I went through the technique known as the memory palace, where you essentially have an environment that you know very well. For example, mine was my trip from my house to school. I used to walk that every single day, so I know it like the back of my hand. And you essentially assign ridiculous images that correspond to each word on the list, and you place them on the journey. So, for example, the first word that I got in my random list was architecture, so I imagined the Sistine Chapel with Kevin MacLeod, the Grand Designs dude, talking at the door. And then the next one was cold, so I imagine a big handkerchief hanging over a post that's covered in bogies, and I run my hand through it. And then the next one is remedy, so I imagine a cold remedy that really does taste like cold medicine. You essentially picture all of these things. They're incredibly vivid in your mind, and it means that you can walk through this mental environment and you can list off all of the words in order and you can remember all of them. I looked at that list of words for 10 minutes and I still have them memorized a week later, and I couldn't believe that this thing exists. So now I've set myself the challenge. 2 challenges, in fact. I want to be able to memorize a full deck of cards within around about 4 minutes. That one's going to be tough, but I also want to memorize the periodic table simply because I think that'll be interesting. And I want you guys to pester me for updates simply because this is one of those things that I might lose motivation for, and if you keep bugging me about it, maybe I might just about be able to do it. So here we are. All 3 of them are now fully completed. Not only have I finished up this one, this is one that we were working on, but also I have filled in all of the sea lanterns, so now these things are fully lit up and they shouldn't, hopefully, be spawning any mobs. The only thing is that while I stood back to admire my creation, checking out the builds in all their glory, a creeper came along and just destroyed this area. There was a massive hole right here. Thankfully, I had a little bit of glass lying around, but it seems like I have actually run out of it, which means that we're going to have that tiny 3 long hole there for the time being. We'll fix that at some point in the very near future, but for the time being, what I want to do is I actually want to take a look at this thing from the outside. I think that's the look that I'm going to like the most. Hopefully. Let's see. Yep, that looks cool. As I say, it looks like a big server rack. That's kind of how I'm seeing it here. It's like data storage. Wow, that looks good. Pretty impressive. The only thing that I am thinking is we have the furnace smelter there, which is really, really good, and it smelts things really nicely, but it would be nice if we could have 4 of these things all going round, and then the farms in the center, and maybe we could move this elsewhere, put it somewhere else in one of the other farming modules. I'll leave that up to you. Let me know down in the comment section if you think I should do that, if you think I should dedicate another one of these giant V's to this area here. The more I look at it, the more I think that would be a good idea. But for the time being, what I quickly want to do is pop back to the community builds area because I want to see how that build is going. And then I want to pop up and do a slight modification to the design that we have going on here, because I've come up with an idea that I think could look really good and make these things look less coffee table-y. Yeah, the coffee table look is maybe not one that I want. Here goes. Whoa! Whoa! Oh my word! It's like Jurassic Park in here, but not. It's mad. My mouth is wide open. Wide open. What on earth? Oh my word, this is the coolest survival build I've seen in my entire life. Hands down, 100%. I might as well quit the Hermitcraft server because there's no topping this. This is insane. I don't want to build anything in here. Like, the Hermits are now meant to get... I think the plan was it was going to be like an underground city. And we were going to be able to build things in here at some point. I'm not building in here. I'll ruin the whole thing. Holy mackerel. Wow. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Then let's pop back over to my tiny little base. Oh, but before I leave, I should probably mention that the mastermind behind this is Good Times with Scar and CubedHost as well. They have both been working on this extremely hard, along with all of the other hermits on the server, but mainly it's them, I do believe. So let's just see if this has promise. Okay, I just want to see if it has promise. I've only done like the tiniest little bit, but oh, it does have some promise. I would say that absolutely has promise. I need to sort out that slab right there. We need to make that a slab. I thought maybe make it a block like I did down at the bottom there, but that doesn't make any sense. We'll make that a slab. And then we might actually have a slightly less coffee table-y design. Okay, I'm going to do the rest of it. I feel like I should do one entire thing just to see if it will work. And this is actually a thing that we can do for the other ones. So you guys can stop taking the mick out of my design. So I've built the entire thing, and that is what it looks like. Now... what do I like more? That's kind of the question here. I feel like there's something off with it. Is there something off with it, or am I going crazy? I feel like maybe it shouldn't have the 2 blocks at the bottom. Maybe it should just have the 1 block. Maybe that will make life a little bit better. Gosh, I really don't know. That's such an easy thing to fix. What I want to ask you guys is, do you prefer this design over this design? I'm going to do a poll. I know I'm repeating myself quite a bit, and I'm really loving the polls at this point in time, but I need to ask, what do you prefer? The coffee table or the big V? Big V, coffee table. Coffee table, big V. The poll will be on the video. So you guys can click on that little card in the top right hand corner. You can cast your vote, and then I'll make my decision based on that. But there we go. I hope that you enjoyed this episode on the Hermitcraft server. We have got a ton of work done. These things are extremely impressive. I can't wait to start using them. But unfortunately, ladies and gents, that is all I've got time for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. And if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later. Oh, and as per usual, check out the latest film on the filming channel. I released a new one just the other day. I almost totally forgot then. Can you imagine? Check it out. End screen.